FBI Director Kash Patel just fired at least 10 employees who worked on the Trump classified documents case hours after publicly revealing that investigators had subpoenaed his own phone records. But also, that's not even the wildest part. A new whistleblower alleges that Patel's personal use of FBI jets delayed the Bureau's response to both the Brown University mass shooting and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Right, but starting with the firings, multiple sources say that the terminations are part of a broader internal investigation that Patel ordered into the actions that employees took during the Mar-a-Lago classified documents probe. Right, notably the one that resulted in criminal charges against Trump. And according to CNN, Patel launched that investigation after discovering that the FBI had subpoenaed his phone records as well as those of current White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles during the probe in 2022 and 2023 when both were private citizens. And the records in question are toll records, right? They show the timing and recipients of calls but contain no recordings or content. Right? And these kind of subpoenas, they're standard in major criminal investigations to establish communication patterns, and they don't indicate wrongdoing just on their own. But here's the timing that matters. The firings reportedly came just hours after Patel himself went to Reuters to reveal the subpoenaed records. And you had Patel telling them that he didn't know why the FBI seized them, and Reuters can determine whether Patel or Wiles was actually under investigation. But also a big thing here is none of this is really new information. Patel was compelled to testify before a grand jury in the case. It's already public that investigators obtained some of Wiles' phone records. Both of them, they were extremely close to Trump during the investigation, so scrutiny of their communications, that's predictable. But you've got Patel framing it as a targeted political attack on Trump and his allies, and he's accusing FBI officials of trying to hide the subpoenas. And with all this, you had a source telling the New York Times that some, if not all, of the fired employees were involved in obtaining those toll records, though the Times also noted that it's unclear if Patel had actually accused any of them of specific wrongdoing. And that's a significant gap because the FBI has failed to articulate any wrongdoing in previous firings as well, leading to allegations that these terminations, they violate rules that are designed to protect agents from politically motivated retaliation. Right? And so among the reactions, you had the FBI Agents Association slamming the firings as illegal, saying that they violate the due process rights of those who risk their lives to protect our country, and warning that the purge is going to weaken the agency, saying that will ultimately be putting the nation at greater risk. Another big thing with this is that it's probably not over. You have sources saying to expect more firings, especially because this is far from the first time that the Bureau has purged employees connected to the Trump investigations. Right, and then all of that, it's happening as Patel's facing a completely separate scandal over his personal use of FBI aircraft. Right, you probably remember the Milan Olympics situation, Patel chugging beer, celebrating in the locker room after the U.S. men's hockey gold medal game. Also happened to be the same weekend that an armed intruder attempted to breach Mar-a-Lago. And, despite all the public dude broing, he insisted that he was actually there on official business and he was just taking a quick break. But now you're also seeing much more serious allegations. You had Senator Dick Durbin, ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, releasing a letter detailing whistleblower claims about how Patel's personal flights have actively interfered with FBI operations, and specifically how they delayed deployments of the Bureau's elite evidence response teams. These are the specialized units based at Quantico with expertise in crime scene mapping and forensic evidence collection, where they're the ones sent to the biggest, most complex crime scenes in the country. And after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the FBI shooting reconstruction team was asked to fly to Utah to assist in the investigation, and according to the whistleblower, their deployment was actually delayed at least a full day because of a plane and pilot shortage caused by Patel's personal travel. So there you had an FBI spokesperson denying this specific claim, saying that Patel was in D.C. the day that Kirk was killed and in New York the next day for 9/11 ceremonies, and saying that it wasn't personal travel. But then even if you take their word for it, the Brown University allegation, it is much harder to explain away, because according to the whistleblower, the shooting reconstruction team was ready to deploy immediately after the mass shooting in December. But then they couldn't fly out of Virginia because Patel was using one of the FBI's 2 available planes for a personal trip, with sources saying that he was visiting his parents in South Florida. Right, and the second plane should have been available, but Patel had given an unusual order to hold the aircraft for the hostage rescue team, which is a unit that normally wouldn't respond to a scene like this, especially with an FBI SWAT team already stationed at the nearby Boston field office. And even then, you had the whistleblower saying that the standby order was never actually communicated to the hostage rescue team in the first place. And so the shooting reconstruction team had to drive from Virginia to Rhode Island overnight during a winter storm and didn't arrive until the following morning. And so with this case, you had an FBI spokesperson appearing to confirm that Patel was visiting his parents during the Brown shooting, but he pushed back on the idea that the top forensic team was needed, instead saying that the Boston field office team arrived 2 hours after the shooting and that the case was initially state-led with the FBI as an assisting role. And then he also claimed that Patel, quote, always offers the plane if needed when he's traveling, but that it wasn't needed. Which I don't know about you, that seems like a lot of qualifiers for something that should have probably been a simple answer. But also, here's the thing that puts a bow on the whole situation. Patel himself has repeatedly hammered his predecessor, Christopher Wray, for using FBI jets during his tenure. In 2023, Patel publicly said that the FBI should ground Wray's jet that he pays for with taxpayer dollars to hop around the country. And well, now you have Durbin's investigation into Patel's travel being triggered by allegations that Patel took multiple flights to visit his girlfriend, country singer Alexis Wilkins. So you have the situation where a guy who built part of his public brand on calling out FBI jet abuse, he's now facing whistleblower allegations that his own jet use delayed the response to a mass shooting and an assassination. That's just not a good look, no matter how you spin it.